that story. I think.
Well,
We know it pretty
you're
well.
usually the storyteller. I don't usually get a word in.
I think it's a great story. I think it's
Back in 2008, our daughter, Beck, was in her final year of school. And here in Australia, that final year of school, there's a very major exam right at the very end. And for a lot of students, there's a lot of pressure for that because the results of that exam then determine what university they can enter. But at the beginning of that year, we sat down with our daughter, Beck, and we just said, we pleaded with her basically just to not let this get a hold of her, that she's a very good student, and if she paced herself well, she would be fine. And at the beginning of the year, she was a leader in her youth group. She seemed to be going well in her faith, and so we'd really trusted that things would go well. But by halfway through the year, we really knew that things were not progressing well with her. She was very, very stressed. The whole study thing sort of completely overwhelmed her. She became depressed. She started getting anorexic. Her behaviour towards us and the things that she said to us became extremely hurtful. She told us she was no longer a Christian. She had no time for God. She pulled out of the youth group, and the only thing that she could focus on was her studies. And so as a family, that was a really, really tough year for us to go through. And about halfway through or so that year, she came to us and said that she wanted to take a gap year the following year. And although that was not necessarily initially something we wanted to hear, we both realised fairly quickly that that was something she definitely needed to do. She needed to take a break from her studies. And when she asked us to do some research for her into gap years because she simply didn't have time, we were quite happy to do that for her.
So we set about researching numerous gap years. It was 9 o'clock one Friday night in June. I'm Googling gap years, and I suddenly thought my old school friend had spent 10 years working as a Christian volunteer with some youth organisation, and I thought there may have been a Y in it and possibly an M. And I eventually came up with YWAM. Not that I knew who or what YWAM was, but I just simply Googled YWAM Gap Year Australia. And what immediately came up was Reef to Outback Townsville DTS. So I looked at that and I thought, wow, that is just amazing. A 5-month course in Townsville, it would just be so fantastic. It's a pity our daughter wouldn't go because she's not a Christian anymore, but 3 or 4 weeks after that, we gave Beck a choice of about 7 different gap years. There were 5 non-Christian ones and 2 Christian ones. We knew she wouldn't choose a Christian one, but we put them in there in any case. Reef to Outback DTS was certainly one of the 2 we gave her. After giving consideration to those gap years, we were very surprised when she said she quite liked the look of the thing at Townsville. And we thought, yes! So we applied and she got accepted. We got her through the high school certificate. She did very well and she did some partying after that. And unbeknownst to us, about 4 weeks before she was due to come here, she phoned someone here and said, "Hi, my name's Beck. I'm coming up here to do this DTS thing. I don't know much about it. I'm not a Christian anymore. I don't know whether I should be coming or not." Whoever she spoke to on that occasion said, "Beck, please get on a plane and come on up. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to hang out and spend some time with you. We'll just get together and see how things go." So we weren't aware of that at the time. In mid-January 2009, we took her out to Sydney Airport and we put her on the plane. And as we walked out of the airport, Kate and I did a high five and we said, "Well, God, she's in your hands now."
So after a few weeks, we started to receive some emails from our daughter, starting to apologise for her behaviour, for some of the hurtful words that she'd said and some of the hurtful things that she'd done. And we got beautiful letters from her expressing her love for us and so forth. And so we noticed already this amazing change in our daughter, and we were just so thankful.
A month after that, of course, DTS had finished and she graduated. She came back to Sydney for a holiday, and certainly the young woman that got off the plane was so totally different from the young woman we put on the plane 5 months earlier. It was quite remarkable.
As a mum, I can certainly understand that people can be very nervous about sending their precious children so far away. Even for us, Sydney to Townsville seemed a very, very long distance away. But we can certainly say from experience that YWAM Townsville is a very, very safe place to be. The campus itself is right in the city part of Townsville. It's a very short walk to shops and to the beach, and it's a safe part of the city to be in. And not only that, the campus itself is very secure. We have to fob in and out, and when we do go on outreach, the leaders on outreach do their best to do as many risk assessments and examine things as much as they can, so that when we do take our students out of here, out into the rest of Australia, to other nations, that we know we are doing the best possible and keeping them as safe as possible.
They'll certainly, children which come out here, young people which come out here will certainly make friends. Often it'll be lifelong friends. They'll grow in their faith, they'll grow in their maturity, and they'll certainly have an adventure they won't forget. DTS for many students is a life-changing event, and it's one that will stay with them for the rest of their lives.
The staff here really do care. We want to make home for the students that come to us, and so a lot of effort is put into making people feel comfortable, making them, this is your home for the next 6 months. And so be assured that they're going to be well cared for, they're going to be well fed, they have a bed to sleep in, they have all the things that they need to be able to thrive.